Alright, let's get the wings here, but I'm going to remove a few things from this equation. So Control Shift, click and drag. And let's get the sizes accurate here, so switch to Draw and Move. And let's pull this back and forth. Okay, can rotate this a little bit. Maybe rotate it along the length. Cool. And that works. Alright, now, simply put, we can go move, control, click that center dot, and see if we can't pull that off. So control, it's not working. And why would it not work? Well, it's because something's hidden. Trust me. I once spent, I think, a half hour trying to figure that out. Why is this not working? Called Pixologic, and they're like, I don't know why it's not working. It works for everybody. And then we found out that that's what I was doing. And that was a mildly embarrassing moment. And now that I've told you, I'm sorry. But I cannot let you live any longer. So let's move this out. Rotate. I'm giving you the measurements. I'm looking at the very top of my guy. Okay, and seeing what makes sense from that perspective. Okay, and this is actually quite elevated. It's a bunch of stuff, and we got to work on that humerus. So that's pretty accurate, but we need to go a little longer, so we're going to stretch it out. Okay, it's just a little longer, not a ton. Alright, and then into Draw, and now what I want to do, Curve Tube, but let's create the parts. So what have we done right now? Okay, what are the bones that we've created? Now, you've been studying this. You got to know what that is. Humerus, right? And then ulna, or radius. Okay, not sure which one, but it's the ulna and the radius, so we're going to have to put another one in there. And then what we're going to have off to the side here is we're going to have these carpals. And then we're going to have metacarpals and then phalanges. That's the way it goes. Metacarpals and then phalanges. So everything gets a little funky, but don't sweat it. You know, it's not that big of a deal. But let's put this in. So lower that. Boom. Done. Pull that up. Okay. Pull this out. Cool. Something like that. And now let's get in there and create the metacarpals, or the carpometacarpus, okay, which is really just this fused beast. So I'm only going to do one, and I'm going to go Stroke, Delete, Curve, carpometacarpus. Lower the draw size. And then rinse and repeat, phalange. So little tiny thing, but roughly the same size. Okay. Cool. I'm going to Stroke, Delete Stroke. Alright, now these guys are not lined up correctly. Something like that. stretch that back out. So move, and there you go. And I've made a mistake here, actually, and this is really important. So I had to stop the video and find out what the heck had happened inside my brain. Okay, and I was using two different things for reference, a chicken and a pigeon. So the carpal bones in a pigeon, in a chicken, are a bit different than the carpal bone in a pigeon. So what I want to do now is just kind of extend that. Okay, smooth that. Okay. Okay, so that's better. We've got what's amounting to the, let's say the wrist, okay, the carpals, metacarpals, the phalanges. Okay, we've got the ulna, the radius, probably reversed there actually, and we've got them scheduled or set roughly in the right way. I'm going to fold these guys down a bit more though. And then we'll call this a day. So drop it down about like that, move brush, get it angled. Okay. And let's use move and pull that up. Just making it look sexy. Alright, I'm going to check another side view here and just throw some things away. Get some things stretched out. Okay. Let's use a move topological, and I want to get the ulna here separate from the radius. Okay, and there we go. That's going to be our wing setup, and let's check our reference. And at this point it's getting too hard to see whether I'm right or wrong, but I know I'm within range. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Next thing we need to do is add legs, and then we start talking musculature.